Let's talk about Skyrim VR. Now we finally have a release date for the Steam version. Skyrim VR will be dropping on April 3rd of 2018. It'll be working out of the box with the HTC Vive, which is what I have, the Oculus Rift, and the Windows Mixed Reality system. It'll have standing and room scale compatibility and be coming out with all 3 DLCs, Dawnguard, Hearthfire, and Dragonborn. Now if I sound surprised by this, it's because Fallout 4 VR failed to come out with any of its DLCs, and has yet to get any of them. Fallout 4 was also an HTC Vive only release, though I believe there were some mods to make it work with the Oculus. So with the announcement, honestly, I'm a little disappointed having gotten the release date and it being so soon. I was hoping that it'd be delayed to help really bring Skyrim into VR properly. For me, Fallout 4, which I'll be using to do a comparison here, was a fairly big disappointment this year. To my shock, looking at Steam today, it actually has a fairly high rating of 71% as of recording this video. When it works, Fallout 4 was awesome. You really can get your heart pumping. Lining up shots against a ghoul that's charging right at you and getting face to face with one. Interacting with objects in the world and tossing them around was kind of fun. But at the end of the day, for me, it was a buggy, blurry, low-resolution mess. Even after applying well-known fixes, waiting for the most recent official patches to come out, and applying mods to fix some of the issues, at the end of the day, you've got a low-resolution screen attached to your head that just doesn't play well with a game that has this kind of detail to it. Unlike most current VR games, which are pretty plain for a reason. What makes it worse is most of your interactions don't feel like a VR game at all. Most interaction is done through a menu system or a button. With little VR interaction, you wanna reload your gun? You wanna rack your bolt, slam a new mag in? Well, you better hit that thumb button. You wanna do a power attack like on that bandit with a melee weapon? Well, you better awkwardly swing while holding down a trigger button. Menu controls are slow to use and sometimes don't even register when you're trying to switch weapons. That's always fun in a firefight, trying to switch weapons from your rifle to your pistol because you ran out of ammo and suddenly it won't register the button press properly. Skyrim is another world of rich detail, and it's another big open world with lots of quests and things to do, which has me excited, just like it did for Fallout 4. I'm kinda sick of playing a lot of VR games that feel like tech demos, and I was hoping that Bethesda would bring these in properly. But the question remains, what kind of gameplay are we gonna get out of this? If you look at the PlayStation VR trailer, which by the way, the Skyrim VR trailer that just came out with this release date is the exact same trailer as the PlayStation one that they showed when they released that. And the reviews were mixed at best. People who had never played Skyrim before seemed to have fun with it. If they complained a bit about the controls, many found that using magic was great because it's a ranged attack and you could target multiple foes because you could actually aim what direction that fire goes from one hand and then the other hand. The melee combat, which you think would be amazing, was basically forgotten by most reviewers, and bow combat seems to be questionably accurate to most people. The HTC Vive has great archery demos that you can play that make me really want to try that in Skyrim. Now the question is the better tracking on the Vive gonna make the difference? And I'm not quite sure. Is this going to be a hot, blurry mess? Well, chances are, at least in my opinion, yes. It's not going to fix the bare bones problems that VR has right now, and that's the fact that we're not running really high resolution screens so close to our eyes that are running this huge field of view. I'm really curious to know what you guys think. I was a little surprised to come home today after my long trip and find this release out here. The one great thing that did come out of Fallout 4, I will say this, is I've gotten this rifle controller that you're seeing some footage of right now, and this thing is amazing. 3D printed off of a guy on eBay. You can hot swap your control sticks directly onto this controller and then pull them right off. So you can have that rifle experience of having it butted up against your shoulder, steadying your aim and actually making it easier to fire, while at the same time being able to just pop them off because they're magnetically locked on there, and then use them for the traditional, VR stuff of picking things up and throwing them. You'd think it'd be perfect for Fallout, but it doesn't make up for all of the Fallout 4 shortcomings. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you thought about, well, Skyrim's coming out on VR, and would you like to see some videos of how that works? I meant to do some Fallout 4 ones, but man, were they disappointing. We may still go ahead and revisit them. There have been a couple of good patches out, like we've got scopes now actually work in Fallout 4 VR with the recent patch. They didn't actually work up until this more recent patch. And they've fixed a few more options that we no longer have to change in the INI files, but can change in the actual menus. A lot of problems with it still, and they seem to be working on it, but it was almost an unplayable, if not it was an unplayable state on release, and I'm very worried that Skyrim's gonna be that same unplayable mess of bugs and problems. And I didn't mention this at the beginning of the video, Skyrim VR, $59 or $60 experience, once again. Yeah, that's a thing. A full-fledged release, and Fallout 4 was not worth that on release, I'll be honest. I've only got about 6 hours into it, and that's multiple attempts to get into it and play it, and just no good. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, I will see you in the next one. Later, everybody.